Welcome to Take 10. I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you because I know that you're industrious and you are ambitious. And you've taken the time to educate yourself and to listen to someone else's perspective. My perspective is never going to be your perspective. But perhaps the years of service that I have had in the kingdom of God will help you. And we're talking about that growing place to where you don't worry about becoming great in the kingdom anymore. You just serve your way till God raises you to a place in His eyes that you are great. He doesn't ask everyone to build a big building. He doesn't ask everyone to go here, go there, do this, do that, have a great crowd for an evangelistic authority. Or sometimes He wants you to do the service that He's called you to. And we forget that it was the little things that made us to the place we are today. And if we shove aside servitude, true greatness will always elude us. That's a self-check. It is not wrong for believers and leaders in the kingdom to be industrious or ambitious. But when ambition pushes obedience and service to one side, it becomes sin. You say, well, why would that be? Well, the social world that we live in and you know, when I was young, my father preached about getting ahead of the Joneses. You know, that was the guys next door, getting ahead of your neighbor, getting ahead of the Smiths. And he would just preach about don't compare yourself to other people and just don't do that. But did you know that that ambition that God puts in you as a leader can push obedience and service to one side? It becomes sin to you, and then you become uneasy and you're not happy with what you're doing. I applaud people who do what is considered great things in this earth, but to hold a child in your lap and take care of that child and put your heart into the weakest, smallest thing in the kingdom for other people is the biggest thing for God. You see, pride or insecurity can cause us to overvalue position and prestige. I told you last time, Angel Panero taught me this, that in God's kingdom, these motives are destructive. And the only safe ambition is directed toward God's kingdom and not our own advancement. So this is that true path to greatness I've been talking about all the way through this self-check motive here is because we want to make sure that we understand that Jesus described leadership from a brand new perspective than what the disciples were hearing. And were He here walking among us today and we were following Him around with the great miracles, it would be a new perspective as well as to what we're living in today. Instead of using people, which is, you know, I hear preachers saying stuff it's almost manipulation. It's not how many people can you get to do what you want them to do. Well, instead of using people, we're to serve the people. And serving others takes real leadership, the kind that Jesus exemplified His whole life. He wanted to bring those people to a place of real leadership, the disciples, so that they would lead people to become real leaders, not those that were just driven by self-will and ambition. Jesus' mission was what? To serve others and then give His life away. So a real leader has to have that same perspective, has to have a servant's heart. It's not a popular message, especially to some of you who are becoming weary in well-doing. And all the things that you're doing are just dragging you down, all the meetings, all the stuff, everything you're having to go through. Let me give you a self-check. Stop and applaud those things that He considers to be great, because servant leaders appreciate other people's worth and realize that they themselves are not above any job. I've heard it, you've heard it, preached from the pulpits of the great that you grow out. Listen, you never grow out of picking up a piece of paper in the kingdom. You never grow out of noticing what's out of place and trying to put it right. You never grow out of seeing the needs in this department or that department, or the hurt that's going on. And even if you're an organization and you're just a itinerant minister, or you're a licensed minister that's ministering in your own kingdom, and you go to church somewhere. You're never above serving that local church that you're a member of. Because too many approach life expecting honors and special privileges. They fight for them. Who's going to be the person next to the pastor? I mean, it's the story of Jesus all over again. Who's going to have the honor? Who's going to have the special privileges? Who's going to go here? Who's going to go there? Let me tell you who's going to go. Those with self-will and ambitious. They're going to want to get closest to where they can get the most honor. But we get closest because we want to hear what the Lord is saying and what His true heart is talking about it. So that servant leader or that one who's following God's heart looks for ways to help others. You can start by modeling God's acceptance and compassion and His love for others. And who's others? You're others. You're the one He had acceptance and compassion and love for. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. That's the faithfulness of God to you. And now you start by modeling that same faithfulness that was to you to others. If you see something that needs to be done, don't wait to be asked. Just take the initiative and do it like a faithful servant. And this will lead you to a true greatness in the Lord. Is there somebody you can serve today? Perhaps a phone call to ask, is there something I can do for you? I took my old friend out the other day. Dr. Rex is 91. What a great father of the Independent Christian Churches International. What a great father to me. But I took him out, took him to his favorite. His wife won't let him have a Dairy Queen, so I take him to the Dairy Queen every now and again. He gets a dip top, or he'll get a Oreo Blizzard. And while he's sitting there eating, I'm listening. On the way home, he said to me, "Hey, would you look at my water heater?" Now, I'm not tooting my horn. I was real busy that day. I had been out since early in the morning. I had had a tough and stressful day, and the last thing I wanted to fool with was a water heater that won't work. If you've ever fooled with one, you know what it means. But as I knelt down there on the garage floor by the water heater, I saw the least being served. On his walker, he can no longer get down there and adjust the thermostat. He can no longer check why it's not bringing the amount of hot water that he wants and has been used to. And to fight that would say, well, I'll have somebody come and check that. And there's been many times that I've sent my maintenance man over there to his house to work. But I needed that. And as I knelt there on that floor, serving that wonderful old King of the gospel, I saw the need to realize that I have to see something that needs to be done and do it without question. You don't outgrow anything. And today, if you're hurting in what you're doing, if you're feeling depressed because of where you are, just take a self-check and go forward. Be the greatest in the eyes of God, your Father. Be the greatest in the kingdom. Serve Jesus Christ and others as He would. God bless you. Go have a great day, and we'll see you next time on Take 10.